Hi, hello, and welcome. As I promised, we're gonna do the Dali Tarot review. So, first of all, I saw this deck a couple of times and I wasn't sure, do I really want to buy it? Is it gonna be to my taste? Because the pictures look too difficult for me, as I'm not that long in the tarot world, so that felt a bit complicated. But then I went to the exhibition, and all of a sudden, the tarot deck was just there, and I made a joke that whenever I go, the tarot follows me now. So, well, here we go. I still got the tarot, and it comes with this great, huge box. It looks lovely. It's a velvet to touch, and a nice color on this. And then you get the actual box with the tarot deck on it, and the book. The book is huge as well, but that's also because it comes in different languages, so it goes with Italian, Spanish, German, and English, if I know correctly. So when we open the tarot deck, the first what strikes is that the first card you see is, of course, Magician, and it's Dali there. So usually you would get a full starting the deck and opening it as a nice journey to the tarot world, where the fool is innocent and he doesn't know much. He's naive and he's up to go into a new world. So here it's different. First card is Magician, and you see here it's a Dali, and on a table there you would see a loaf of bread and a wine, which also make him as a Christ. And also, if you would hope that here you would see a lot of phalluses and classical Dali style, this is not the case. It's very old Dali works, because he was doing this tarot deck when he was 80. And also, some rumors has it there was a tribute to his wife, Gala, who was also doing tarot readings. But I'm not sure how right this is. Then everything goes as usual. You would see the High Priestess. Then you would get the Empress, which is Gala herself. And as everybody would say that Gala was a very dominant woman in Dali's life, here you can clearly see the reference to it. She's very determined here, and she's in control of everything. Also, if you pay a closer attention, you would see that here at the bottom there is the planet sign, and it's way different than usually. Here there's the Earth, so that's few changes on the deck here. Some cards are very traditional and a very weight style, but something coming is very interesting, and I'm gonna get to it. So it's 8th card, it's Justice. So Dali switched this with Strength. So usually you would see this reference as in Crowley Tarot. You would see that dispositions of the cards is like this. So you get Strength as 11, and then Justice is 8. I have no idea why that happened. Is there any reference or something? Because I didn't find it. Very interesting depiction of death here as well. Also, you would see that different sign here, Temperance as Aquarius, which is not usual depiction as well. And then Devil. This is one of my favorite cards. Here you would see Devil more depicted as a fool in a Rider-Waite deck. We see clearly the person who is kind of jumping over a cliff into the unknown. But really, if you look into the description in the book, they would talk about the hands here on the corner, which is trying to grab a person, and this person is kind of like a statue and coming from the pedestal rather than the cliff on the earth. And that's about breaking the taboos and starting something new, but as a devil, he's trying to grab you back. Very lovely card. Then everything is pretty much same. So you would see the star, pretty much classic, not in order now, but pretty much same tower, whereas the building is collapsing and people falling from there. But what is very interesting is the moon here as well. It is kind of classic as well. But here we also have the city at the back of the card, and that symbolizing the communal, collective, subconscious. Then we get a sun, which is very interesting depiction. Usually you would see a kid on a horse or something like that, similar to this, or actual sun. But here we have Apollo as a god of light, and there is a Leo here as well, which is represent the sign of a sun. And then we come to the world, and world is not the last card here on the major arcana, because we're gonna have a full later on, but it's nicely round up everything that we learned from the major arcana just now, and I'll tell you why in a second. So here you see the face kind of like a caged man or something, and that's a reference to the chariot here. You see in the middle of it there is kind of like that cage, so this is one enlarged. And also you get the three graces. It's hope, love, and whatever the third one is. So they on the leash, but on the very long one. So they explaining that the humanity didn't just come from angels and just descended from the skies. We also been here for a long time now, and we have all sorts of creatures, and we were influenced by all sorts of things. So that's our dark side, and that's okay to have it and see these three graces. They drag it here to be closer, and that's also links to the devil. So this is this black hands who's trying to grab you. That guy in the cage who wants to make you a slave. Very complicated, I know, but this is very awesome. And then we have a Fool, and this one is cool card as well. See, also there is no number for this one, even though it's 0. Usually you would get it on top here, but nothing here. And also this looks like a saint on a horse with the butterfly wings, who is absolutely have no idea what he's up to, and he is as saint as anyone who started the journey from the very beginning could be. I think it's very pretty cool. Then I'm not sure if this is just my deck, because I've seen the reviews on the internet and they were completely different, and of course the publication is different years, so I have no idea if that's a common thing or this is just me. But the major arcana here, minor arcana starting from the Queen, and I think this is pretty cool because Dali was influenced by Gala in his life, and the woman is clearly very important for him. So as a representation of the whole suit, he has a queen, not the ace as you would usually get it, or even in some decks you would get a king to do that. But here we have queens, and I think this is pretty awesome. Then one of my favorite cards in the whole deck is the King of Wands. Seeing a child on a card is not something strange. You would see something like this on a sun card, for example, but seeing a little child as a king, that's something new is to me. And also this is very Dali style. You'll see this phallus wand, which is clearly about the temptation, about the control, about the power, but it also looks like you have to keep your child alive and feed him with this fire to be able to achieve stuff. I think this is pretty cool. Then it goes backwards, so it's Knight of Wands, then the also very nice one for the Ace of Wands as a kind of pencil that human is holding there, the hands is holding, and it's a new idea, something that strikes you as a fire and you want to desperately try to develop it and make it live. Then the rest of cards are pretty much generic, and I would say it's very Rider Waite. Also, you would see Dali signed most of the old cards. But what I found really uncomfortable for this deck is that it doesn't have any numbers in it. And if you know the images, it's cool and you can work with them easily. But if something, for example, goes like this, and they three are pretty much about the same story, it's difficult. You have to spend time counting them, and it's not something very comfortable as I found it. But probably that's because I don't know cards way too well. But well, we'll see about this in some time in future, I guess. Then very awesome card of a Queen of Cups. Again, it's a new suit, and Queen represents them. And this is, well, first of all, the style that Dali made these cards, it's kind of like a mocking of the art itself. So you see the Queen with the mustaches and a beard here, which is very, very in Dali way depiction of pretty much everything. But also, you see she is covered in shells, which is Queen of Cups is about. She's about emotions, and she is in there in the sea, full of emotions. And she's queen there, so she know how to rule the world. She know the rules, and well, she made them herself. So yeah, she's completely in control of it. I really love it. Then the King of Cups, it's a very funny one. It's the king in his kingdom, but kingdom is in a jar. I found it really amusing. Also, a little Napoleon here on a horse. There's a Knight of Cups page. So yeah, pretty generic again. The Two of Cups is actually quite interesting as well, because usually you would see something about people having date or drink together. Well, something very romantic. But here we see the other person is leaving, and this is very interesting, I would say. Yeah, pretty much Rider Waite references on the cards here. Very classic Six of Cups, again with the kids. And the flowers, very nice Nine of Cups, and it's more about feeling yourself with the emotions, with the stuff that you love, and feeding your little child, being there alive. Queen of Swords, again, represents us a different suit. A lot of butterflies you would see, also a lot of bold colors, which is in the Dali style. So it's pure blue, pure green, pure yellow. Very generic and kind of standard now. Ace of Swords with a crown. The funny one, this one is Two of Swords and a Saint with the closed eyes. And this one is one of the most read and painful cards I've seen for the Three of Swords. It's very, very difficult. Well, if you ever did something like live in the cards or meditated on them, I don't know, God, who meditates on Three of Swords, please don't do this. But if you do, for whatever reason is this, it's very painful. And this card shows this so clearly. I mean, if you ever struggled in some painful decisions that made you cry for hours or days, I think this card explains it a lot. Very nice card of a rest here. A lot of butterflies, as you would see. Even here for the Six of Swords, we have a lot of butterflies. Usually this card is something like a punishment when you sent to exile or something. But this one is gonna give hope for leaving everything behind and just start anew. Yeah, as I said, it's very complicated because here is Eight of Swords, and if you're not very familiar with the images, you have to count them, and yeah, I'm not a fan of counting. Why would I, right? Nine of Swords is actually has a bit of recollection with the USA flag. There isn't an explanation for this in the book, but I completely lost it. I was about to write a post on it, so stay tuned, I'll do that at one point. 10 of Swords, and then we come to the final suit, which is one of my favorite here as well in this card, for a very funny reason. We have a Queen of Coins, and this is again Gala Dali. So see, he depicted her as an empress and also as a Queen of Coins, and two of these are kind of a bit similar in a way, also one from minor arcana, the other from the major, but still they do share a lot of in common, and here Gala looks way more tender than on the Empress, as I think. Some said that the positions of their cards are different to mine, so in theirs you would get King of Coin as the last one, and I think that would be a nice roundup. We started from the Magician of a Dali and we ended with the Dali on the King of Coins, but that's not the case for my deck, unfortunately, but it's still cool. So yeah, King of Coins, Dali himself, lots of green, lots of red, brown, very earthy card. Love it. This one for the Page of Coin is really nice and tender one as well. We have a little kid, presumably it's a girl, who is trying to reach the button, and it's very peaceful card. I love it. Quite standard Ace of Coins. Then very interesting for the Two of Coins, you get here as a North Wind who helps you to broaden your horizon and see past your borders. Very interesting also explanation in the book about this card. I found this one a little bit funny. Usually on the Four of Coins you would get at least just one person trying to hold all the pentacles, but here we have two person being in sort of not in control, but setting the limit to the person in the middle here, and he's choosing to whom he goes. And this card also has a Buddha here representing your beliefs and reminding you that you don't supposed to hold only to the material stuff. This one is pretty standard and I pretty love it as well. Seven of Coins is quite funny, as I think. Usually it's about hope, but here clearly something is not hope, it's just you wait until everything gets better at some point somehow. Yeah, so if you supported that Dali signed all the cards, this is very funny because basically you just get all the paintings of Dali signed just for you. The book is very interesting. Also, it is huge. It is uncomfortable to read because for the explanation of it, it comes like this, and the font and size of it and also the color is absolutely unreadable. So you have to be under the direct light or the lamp or the sun, and that's not always the case, so it's not very comfortable. But this book is good because it has the explanation here of the card, and then it has references, because you see on the I don't know, I lost the card, so I'll show it here. On the Magician card, this at the back, this arch came from a church in Paris, and here is the clear references to the Last Supper of Christ, and Dali here as Christ himself. So to understand the card better, you get here the pictorial sources, and whatever they could find, the author of this book, whatever he could find, he would reference it, where it came from, or it looks similar to something, what inspired Dali. It's not for every card because, well, it's a lifetime work, I think, to find what's come from where, because Dali didn't explain that. And then you get a practical advice, and this is very useful if you do readings for yourself. So here's no explanation of the upright and the reverse card. You have kind of a bit more general explanation of a card, of a feeling, what the symbols are there, what they for, and just like in general the feel of the card. But the actual position, and especially in a different questions, in a different situations, nothing specified here. So that's up to you to think of it. But if you do the reading for yourself, and this is more of the inner work and the understanding of your subconscious, of what's going on here, the practical advice is very useful. It's really nice to work with them. I didn't try this deck yet for the clients, but I hope I'll get someone very brave to try my readings on this card. And then the last thing, what I found really uncomfortable on this deck is the size of it. Come on, guys, for which hands did you do it? Really? I mean, to shuffle it, I have to stretch my hand so much, and this is pretty much the biggest it could go. So it's very difficult to shuffle them and to hold it. But well, I'm kind of managing it. Some I know do the shuffles like this, but I can't. I just don't understand how it works. I hope you enjoyed it, and that was all for me. Have a great end of your day.